The nonviolent approach does not immediately change the heart of the oppressor. It first does something to the hearts and souls of those committed to it. It gives them self-respect. It calls up for resources of strength and courage that they did not think they had. And finally, it reaches the opponent and so stirs his conscience that reconciliation becomes a reality. Martin Luther King Jr. Fellow Ugandans, our nation is currently going through numerous trials and tribulations. We have witnessed a period of upheaval, affliction, and distress. This is the cry of all Ugandans, irrespective of our political, tribal, religious, and partisan affiliations. These are voices of people with good conscience, voices that will not remain silent. Remember the words of Martin Niemöller, that first they came for the socialist, and I did not speak out, because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist, and I did not speak out, because I was not a trade unionist. And then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Fellow Ugandans, we cannot be complacent in our silence. We cannot be complacent in our silence. The last few days have been eventful, tense, testy, and scary for many Ugandans, as military and riot police cracked down on Ugandans conducting peaceful protests in the form of walk-to-work demonstrations against the rising fuel and food prices in Uganda. The crowds were confronted by military police, and skirmishes broke out. Some were injured, others were arrested, and unfortunately, some lost their lives. Through their pain and suffering, they have made us see injustice. They have opened our eyes to the realities facing our people. It is yet another dark chapter in the history of our nation, and puts another dent on the already fragile shell of a democracy that we have. Ugandans walked into the voting booth a few months ago because they were told that they are part of a democracy. However, when Ugandans have tried to exercise democracy, they often run into a brick wall, a wall on which inscribed in large letters are the words that democracy ends here. Please turn around or climb at your own peril. This is not the democracy we cast in the ballot box. This is a half-empty basket of promises of democracy. Ugandans will not settle for a half basket of democracy when there's an abundance of low-hanging fruit. We are all Ugandan citizens, and we are determined to acquire democracy and respect of our civil liberties to the fullness of its meaning. We speak out, and we continue to make our voices and demands with determination until our leaders open their ears, until these injustices get corrected. With the force of the moral character of Ugandans, and not acts of violence, we can change and eradicate the ingrained institution of suppression of civil liberties. We are tired of just imagining and reading about democracy. We want to be part of democracy. We want to experience democracy, and we want to exercise democracy. We want to exercise democracy. Our leaders should not feel threatened or cringe when fellow countrymen shine the bright lights to illuminate the dark crevices and corners in which millions of Ugandans crumple, suffering not only from the soaring prices of fuel and food commodities, but also the heavy load of a broken healthcare system, the heavy burden of unemployment, the heavy load of poverty, the heavy burden of an inefficient education system where tuition fees continue to rise sky high. The government should instead look in the mirror and ask the question, what are our priorities? Where are our priorities? What are our priorities as elected officials? We, the people of Uganda, have been provided with a false choice between the liberties we cherish and the security we demand. Violation of civil liberties is not a sustainable approach to enhance security, long-term peace, and economic prosperity. It is not a sustainable approach. What has been created instead is uncertainty, anxiety, and ambiguity. the government of Uganda should come out of the closet and offer the citizens of Uganda two choices. Either we live under authoritarian rule, or we live under a government that respects and cherishes the institutions of democracy. Two choices, no ambiguity. It is my hope that they choose the latter, because either way, we will continue to ask for it, we'll continue to demand it, and we intend to have it. Walk to Work is just a wake-up call. It's a citizen-driven accountability measure, a call for action, because we have bigger challenges ahead of us looming in the horizon. This wake-up call lifts the spirit of the nation to find solutions together with our government, to start walking out of poverty, to start walking out of unemployment, to start walking out of a poor healthcare system, to start walking out of a corruption and incompetence, to start walking away from poor infrastructure, and to start walking towards an effective and affordable education system. It is imperative that we start walking the walk. Remember, change does not roll in the wheels of inevitability, but comes through the continuous struggle. Change does not roll in the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. And so we must straighten our backs and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent. Martin Luther King Jr. The change does not roll on the wheels of inevitability, fellow Ugandans, but comes through continuous struggle. And so we must straighten our backs, Ugandans, and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent. For God and my country.